I know this plant doesn't look like much, but this one is pretty interesting. First of all, it's called Matelea cyclophylla. Cyclophylla just means a little bit more circular, shaped in circles, and I'm assuming it kind of refers to a little bit more of the leaves and the foliage. But this is a caudiciform also from Mexico. But it is also related to Hoyas, and it's an asclepiad, so it gets a very similar flower to like an orbea or any other type of stapeliad, and it starts to vine. And I wanted to show this to you because it's approaching winter and these are deciduous, so they don't really look like much very soon. They put out a couple green leaves or a few green leaves, and then during the winter months it actually just drops its green leaves, which I'm going to pull in this kind of sad looking guy here. And this is what happens when you get more caudiciforms. You just get these little bulbous bases or these bulbous stems at the end of the day, and you have no leaves. So it doesn't really look like much in the winter months. So I kind of want to show this to you because if you're really getting into plants and you're getting more into caudiciforms or ones that are deciduous, then you just have to kind of grin and bear it, if you will, in order to be able to like sit through the winter months or whenever the dormant period is for certain plants, and they will lose their foliage. Now, I am growing the one that has its foliage lost in my southwest facing window, which as the winter comes in, and I'm filming this in winter right now, just in case I don't run this particular 365 during the winter months. But that's in my southwest facing window, and the light is starting to wane. But this one I think has kept its leaves because now I'm growing this under a grow light, which gets 12 hours of light every day, and it seems to have maintained its leaves. So I'm going to be curious as to when these leaves drop compared to when the leaves of the other plant dropped. And again, I like growing certain plants in different environments within my house because you experience different microclimates and you begin to observe things such as this, which this Matelea is actually maintaining its leaves. But this plant, like most asclepiads, are not heavy feeders, so I would say you could get away with doing something on an annual basis with like a 3-4-7 or 2-4-7, maybe throw in some micronutrients here and there during the growing season. But when it's in dormancy, don't give it any type of nutrition at all because it's just not going to really be growing. Now, these plants are traditionally growing in a little bit more rockier environments. And in this one, I don't have like a rocky substance growing here. And you could also see it in a little bit more limestone environments. So if you'd like to, you could take some maybe crushed oyster shells or cleaned crushed egg shells, and you could throw them on top of the soil. So eventually, as they start to break down, they'll bring a little bit more alkalinity to the soil mix. Now, I wish this was in bloom, but of course it's approaching, like I said, it's dormancy, so it's not in bloom. But you'd have to probably Google some of the flowers. But like I said, it's kind of got a little bit more of that stapeliad looking flower, and it really is a beautiful plant. But again, you just have to, grin and bear it with the fact that it'll just look like a green stem during the dormant season. And of course, if you're growing this plant and you're in a warmer climate, let's say you're in Southern California or you're in Thailand or certain subtropical or tropical areas, I'd love to hear if this goes dormant for you because again, I'm kind of holding my breath with this one and seeing whether it'll drop its leaves or not.